What if the person you believe you need to forgive the most is not the one who hurt you, but the one who lives in your unconscious mind? And what if healing isn't about changing your relationship with your mother, but about changing your relationship with the image of her that still holds power over you? This video will explore an unsettling truth that many avoid: the impact of the mother archetype on your emotional development, your sense of self, and your ability to live freely. Inspired by the work of Carl Gustav Jung, this is not a comfortable journey, but it is a necessary one. Because until you confront this part of yourself, healing will always feel just out of reach. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the Mental Dose channel and join our Telegram community, where you'll get early access to new videos and insights on personal and spiritual growth. Now let's get started. Carl Jung coined the term mother complex to describe the deep unconscious patterns we form in childhood around the figure of the mother. These patterns persist long after we've grown up, guiding our reactions, expectations, and emotional behavior. The mother complex is not about blaming her, it's about seeing how the psychic imprint of her lingers in your inner world. These imprints often shape your emotional responses in ways that defy logic. You may find yourself deeply triggered by criticism, unable to accept love without suspicion, or addicted to chasing the approval of others. These aren't just flaws. They're symptoms of an internal script authored in your earliest years, when your nervous system was still learning what safety meant. Even if your mother was physically present, the emotional resonance she left behind may be confusing or even painful. Perhaps she gave love that felt conditional. Perhaps she expected more than you could give. Perhaps she was so engulfed by her own struggles that there wasn't space for yours. These things don't just wound. They inform who you believe you are. You're not fighting your mother. You're fighting an inherited voice that still whispers through your fears and habits. Recognizing this is the first act of liberation, but recognition alone is not enough. We need to examine the psychic machinery driving it, the archetype itself. In Jungian psychology, archetypes are not people. They are fundamental patterns of experience and emotion, universal across time and culture. The mother archetype is among the most potent. At its best, it represents nurture, safety, and origin. But when left unintegrated or distorted, it can become a prison, manifesting as control, fear of abandonment, or dependency. This inner mother is not always compassionate. Sometimes she is harsh, critical, and unrelenting. She says you must be perfect to be loved, that you must sacrifice to be accepted. She whispers that your needs are too much, your boundaries selfish, your ambition dangerous. And though this voice may wear your mother's tone or language, it lives inside you now. What's worse, you carry this archetype into your adult relationships. You may expect partners to save you, to parent you, to heal a wound they did not cause. And when they fail to meet this invisible standard, you feel abandoned again. But it's not them who abandoned you. It's the archetype projecting unmet childhood needs onto them. To stop this cycle, you must name the archetype, disidentify from it. Observe when your behavior is driven by this internalized mother image. That is how you stop being ruled by myth and begin writing a new narrative. But even as you attempt to rewrite your inner story, another force silently holds you back. Let's explore it. Bert Hellinger's concept of invisible loyalty reveals one of the deepest psychological binders: the belief that healing beyond your parents' pain is an act of betrayal. Deep within you, there may be an unconscious agreement, a silent oath you never chose, to carry your mother's burdens so she wouldn't have to carry them alone. This loyalty manifests in self-sabotage. You underperform just as success is near. You pull away from love just when it starts to feel safe. You deny your desires because they feel too much. These are not accidents. They are echoes of a child who learned that surpassing their mother's emotional experience meant risking her love or losing her altogether. You may even find yourself mimicking her pain as a form of connection. If she was lonely, you stay alone. If she was silenced, you hesitate to speak. This unconscious mirroring feels like solidarity, but in truth, it is emotional stagnation. Her suffering is not yours to replicate, and your life is not her redemption story. Healing here is not rebellion. It's realignment. It's the courage to say, I honor you not by remaining stuck, but by rising. I love you not by echoing your wounds, but by healing them within me. Before we go on, if this video is helping you see things more clearly, consider sharing it with someone who needs it. And if you'd like to support this kind of thoughtful content, you can click the thanks button below. Your support truly helps. Now, let's continue. The most powerful step in breaking the pattern is to reparent yourself. This means learning to give yourself the care, guidance, and compassion that you may have never consistently received. It's about becoming the mother your inner child needed. This begins with listening. When sadness arises, don't dismiss it. When fear appears, don't override it. When you feel overwhelmed, don't punish yourself for being weak. Instead, ask, what do I need right now? What would a loving mother say to me in this moment? This form of inner parenting is not soft. It's disciplined. It takes vigilance to notice when you're repeating the same dynamics, when your inner critic is gaining ground, or when your boundaries start dissolving to keep the peace. You must become both the nurturer and the protector. Validate your feelings, but also guide yourself with truth. Hold yourself through failure without falling into shame. Give rest without guilt. Celebrate without permission. This is the rebirth of self-worth. And if it feels foreign, that's because you're doing something no one taught you. But as you practice, this inner relationship becomes the foundation for all others. From this space, you can finally stop projecting the archetype onto others and meet them as an equal. Which brings us to the final transformation. Breaking the pattern doesn't mean erasing your past. It means choosing not to let it define you. You may never receive the apology you deserved. You may never have the maternal presence you longed for. But that's not the point. The point is, you are no longer a child. Now you can choose. You can choose to stop identifying with the wounded version of yourself. You can choose to release the myth that healing requires someone else to change. And you can choose to stop living under the rules that were written for a version of you that no longer exists. This isn't a denial of pain. It's the conscious decision to stop making pain your home. Begin by noticing the small moments, when you say yes to avoid guilt, when you shrink to avoid envy, when you apologize for taking up space. These are entry points. These are echoes of the inner mother voice. Question them. Ask, who taught me this? And do I want to carry it any longer? This is where emotional adulthood begins. When you stop acting from habit and begin acting from intention. When you let your values, not your wounds, lead the way. When you catch yourself in a pattern, pause, breathe, and choose again. That's what ending the pattern looks like in real life. Not a single dramatic moment, but 1,000 small revolutions. And it's not just about stopping the pain. It's about opening the space for something new. Joy that doesn't need permission. Self-worth that doesn't need proof. Love that doesn't come at the cost of your dignity. That's what you reclaim when you stop being loyal to what broke you. Let your adult self speak. Let your clarity become louder than your inherited shame. Let your boundaries hold you, not as a wall but as a home. Because this is what it means to be free. Not the absence of pain, but the presence of power. A power that comes from no longer waiting, from finally choosing yourself. You don't need to sever ties with your mother to heal, but you do need to redefine her place in your psyche. Stop waiting for her to show up differently. Start showing up differently for yourself. The mother you seek is not behind you. She is within you. She is you. The more you integrate her consciously, the less you need her externally. And from that place you can love, without dependence, without resentment, without distortion. If this video resonated with you, leave a comment below. I am the end of the pattern. And don't forget to subscribe to Mental Dose for more honest, deep, and transformative content. Share this with someone who is ready to reclaim their inner life. This is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of authorship. The moment you take the pen back. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. You are not your wound. You are the one who is healing it. And that changes everything.